studio. Hey, step inside, I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to my earth, connect out the space.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. And welcome to everyone in the chat to a very laid back, chilled out kind of Sunday, hour long, kind of chilled out kind of day. It is super hot inside. I've got a massive industrial fan here, but I can't turn it on because it's a bit too noisy. I can and I might, but it just sort of goes. And I wanted to play around with some plugins and stuff in a sec. So yes, welcome one and all. Hello, Keith in Watford, who wins the award for the first in the chat. And yes, absolutely, I should have got Rob Puricelli on to make up for Friday's absence. I don't know if anyone caught the Pro Synth Network podcast on Friday. I was lucky enough to be the guest presenter. It was a bit like Have I Got News For You, but not half as funny, not a billionth as funny, and about synths and stuff, but it was quite good. Quite interesting to see what it's like to run something like that. And Rob was, who normally runs the show, was waiting outside a record store for Record Store Day Drop 1. I think they've split it over a couple of days this year. And he was in, I forget where he was. Somewhere kind of reasonably well to do. A lovely kind of, it looked Cotswoldy, but I don't think he's in the Cotswolds. Yeah, he queued up and there was 5 or 6 of them, I think, waiting outside all night. And the guy had left a plug socket outside for everyone to charge their phones. And he managed to get in and briefly say hello. And we were kind of expecting a call back, but he didn't bother. He went back to his takeaway probably. But worth a look. Pro Synth Network on Facebook. And I'm stepping in again in July, not for a while, so you're safe for a bit. But I think it's probably Record Store Day Drop 2. So we shall see. Hello, Inky in the chat room. She is a moderator in the chat. So please be nice to Inky as always. We don't really have much trouble around here, to be honest. But if we do, she's on the hand to kick people out and just generally wave the truncheon around. Martin Taylor, hello. Wagyu, hello. Wagyu, I don't know if you're interested in coming on the show at some stage. That might be quite interesting. I was kind of chatting to Inky this week about what the show sort of should be, because I've done one without guests at all like this. There's no guest on this evening, and I've done some with guests, and to me, it's like I quite like interviewing and talking to people that I've never heard of or that should be, you know, that are really active in synths and music and stuff, or just music really, and find out about what they do. And Wagyu is consistently on behind every single kind of sonic statey, pro synth, networky, Gaz, my streams, just absolutely brilliant. And I'd love to know more about you. It's not the first time I've mentioned that actually. I am clashing with the acid takeover. Morgan, oh no, am I? I can't move from 7. It's like it's the only kind of consistent thing in my life at the moment. 7 o'clock stream. Sounds like there is acid clown takeover somewhere from Clown Fest stuff that I was involved with. So sadly, I can't be there to join it. So Morgan, you'll just have to have one in one ear and one in the other. Hello to Martin Taylor, hello to Sentient, hello to Asio Head, another one who might want to come on board maybe. Actually, to be honest, anyone in the chat or anyone who's watching this after the event or whatever, if you want to come on and chat, even if it's a 10-minute little piece to tell us what you're up to or what you're doing, or ask about something, or talk about a plugin, or promote something that you've made, you know, whether it's just a SoundCloud page or something, then, you know, it's really simple to come on here. It's a web-based broadcasting, so you literally, it's a bit like being on Zoom or Google Hangouts or something. You open your browser, I give you a web address, and you appear, and your webcam and your mic, however you want to do it, just works, and there's nothing to worry about. You know, not huge amounts of people watch it. It's just a really, really nice kind of environment. So I'd love you to come on. Failed Muso says, I'll come on the show. Well, we know who Failed Muso is, because that's Robbie Puricelli, who is from the Pro Synth Network that we talked about earlier. What else is going on? Andrew Brooks, Fabian Cortez, hello. And, well, Failed Muso, if you want to come in, I will send you the link now. That could be pretty cool. Let me just get an invite link going, and I will send it to Rob. which is absolutely brilliant, actually. And I'll still take you through some of these plugins and stuff that I had. But I'm going to fire you into Facebook, Rob. Just bear with me just for a minute while I do this. Where is he? Duk, 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 duk. I'll put it into this chat, the chat for the show. There you go. So we should get Rob in any second, and he can join in and tell us all about Record Store Day, which would be really cool. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't even have to tell me beforehand. If you want to come on the show, and there's some votes coming in for Wagyu, by the way, then that would be really cool. And like I say, even if it's only a couple of minutes, it'd be really, really good. So we'll wait for Rob to come in. In the meantime, I was going to take you through and just show you a couple of things that I've been getting on with, and Rob is here. Just give me 1 second, Rob. I was going to show you, let me just share my screen in 1 sec, an expert sleepers looper that we talked about on Sonic State a while back, which is this one, plus some stuff we actually talked about on the Synth Network, which is this new Engelen audio plugins. He's a really smart guy who I'd like to get in on the show. But in the meantime, live and direct from a beautiful countryside studio somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, can I present Rob Puricelli? Here he is, the man himself. How'd you get on at the record drop day?
Yeah, good. I'm kind of broke, but yeah. Wow, this is rather impromptu. I was kind of sat here editing podcasts, and I thought, seeing as he helped us out, if he needs any help.
This is so cool. This is so cool of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what we were going to do, but yeah, brilliant. This is really cool. Well, we're not on for long, so if you want to disappear off and carry on doing some podcasts,
it's actually a nice little break because I've had my head in this podcast. It needs to go out tonight.
Right.
And actually, I put a post up on the Synth Network Facebook page. Quick plug. And I said to people, if anybody's got any Moog, genuine vintage Moog synthesizers, and you can do me some like little segue, clips and stuff.
Right.
I've been inundated with some really cool stuff from some really cool people. So,
superb.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be short of little musical bits in between things.
I was about to kind of repost. I'll repost the link for Synth Network anyway, to be honest, so if people who are in the chat want to take a look. It's if you haven't heard about it, it's probably the best unknown synth group on Facebook.
The best unknown one.
If you have heard about it, you're probably in it already. I think that's probably the best way.
But we're not the best known one.
No, exactly. But there is a really cool Synth Network podcast that goes out on YouTube on Friday nights at 7 till 9, isn't it? Or 8 till 10? 7 till 9.
7 till 9, yeah.
Right. Which I did, so that was kind of cool.
You.
And it's really cool, and it's kind of, I don't know if you moderate it heavily, but it's a nice friendly group. Whatever you do, it's not full of these kind of people just dissing everyone and being nasty about it. It's a nice,
and that's exactly why Ben set it up. I have to get that out there first. This was Ben's baby. This was his idea, and he just kind of reached out and said, if anybody kind of wants to help. And I was feeling the same frustrations as he was with other, Facebook groups or forums and things, and that kind of just I'm up for a laugh as much as the next person, but there's a next level thing, and it just you get these little arguments. It all just kind of spirals into a real bun fight, and that's not very nice. And so we or Ben, should I say, set the thing up with the specific purpose of just getting away from that and maybe encouraging people like yourself, industry professionals, hardened, experienced people who could impart knowledge and just hang out. And so, it's kind of going from there. And, we don't have huge amounts of subscribers on the YouTube channel, which is something that is a matter of great consternation for myself, although Chris keeps saying, it'll come. And it's slowly creeping up. But yeah, it's just a nice place to hang out. And we've got some great people in there, proper big name professionals, all the way down to just people like me who sit at home talking about this stuff but not being incredibly successful with it. But there you go.
That sounds spot on, actually. Yeah, you don't have to be a professional to be in there.
No, not at all.
You just have to behave, I think, like a professional. I think.
The name was a funny thing because Ben initially called it Synth Elite, and the sentiment behind that was it was true, and he didn't want to come across as elitist, but of course the word bloody elite was in the name, and
yeah.
so we had to think about it, and we bandied some ideas around, and Pro Synth Network kind of won the day. So,
well, yeah, highly recommended. So
Thank
check
you.
it out. There are, you know, all myself included. I've got angsty in the past on synth groups without even realising.
Oh, we all
it.
have,
So,
yeah.
You know, but in general, it is a positive, very positive community of helpful people. I think as long
and we
as
don't do very much moderation at all. I
Really?
mean, really, generally, there is. I mean, I think we've had in total about 2 or 3 posts reported.
Gosh.
One or two of them have gone, and some are just. We just kind of like, well, you know, let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let's see if it just kills itself off within, you know, half an hour. And generally they do, but you know, the good thing is most people are just sensible and
Wow.
nice.
Oh, I'm surprised. I mean, I can't imagine what goes on Gearspace half the time.
Yeah,
Or
well,
KVR.
quite.
Well, anyway.
Oh, don't even start.
What did you get in the end at the amazing Vinyl Fest?
Well, of course, I have to start off with my new moniker, Regimental Sergeant Zippo. There it is.
Make an excellent Regimental Sergeant Zippo.
There you go.
Wow.
Elton's lost debut album. They wrote, it's kind of a psychedelic thing. It's all recorded in mono as well. I haven't fully listened to it, but it's classic, you know, Elton and Bernie stuff. So yeah, got that. That was cool. When I joined the live stream on Friday, I banged on about this band, Dutch Uncles.
Yes. Yeah. Which
who
I
are
still need to look up, to be honest.
seriously, if you like pop and you like prog, you can't go wrong. This is kind of like, it's prog pop. I can't think of any other way. Lots of weird time signatures, but funky and catchy and brilliant. Yeah. What else? This one, Tears for Fears, live at Massey Hall.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that one.
1985,
Yeah,
double vinyl there, which is cool. This one, I can't believe, seriously, how old this makes me feel. This is 25 years old now, Republica's debut. What a cracking album that was.
Yes.
Is 25 years. I used to fancy the
was
the
that
pants
Saffron,
off.
wasn't it? Saffron was the
yeah.
singer. She's done quite a
Still
lot
is.
in the industry since then, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know, I put those, and it may be a gross kind of generalisation, but I'm a massive fan of, do you remember Fuzzbox as well?
Yeah.
Which was
yeah.
there's a track called
Victoria.
Self by Fuzzbox, which is just brilliant. And it all was slightly sort of PWL stable. It wasn't Trevor, but it was the guys that had worked with him doing it. I mean, and
It was Andy Richards, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of Andy Richards. And to be honest, when I was younger listening to that, I loved the guitar sounds. And then later in life, I found out it was Andy and his Fairlight.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of single chord, stereoized guitars. Honestly, the guitars are immense in it. And I would put Republica and Transvision Vamp and that kind of stuff in there. And just love that kind of ballsy female pop, really, with guitars.
He's done something with them recently. He did a single. I don't know if there's like an album in the offing as well, but Andy got back with Vic and...
Oh, brilliant.
Because sadly one of the band passed away, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
But yeah, the remaining
guitarist.
members got together. Yeah, so he's been doing stuff with them. So.
Oh, ace.
What else do we get? This was good. So Prince, The Truth, which is
awesome.
Kind of like a mostly acoustic album that came out as a part of a pack many years ago. Tune Yards there. I think it's that first album, Who Kill. I love again, another kind of quirky but really cool band. I watched the documentary this morning. Finally,
right?
Polystyrene.
Oh yeah.
And this is her first solo album, Translucence, which is very good. So yeah, that was cool. And if you get a chance to watch the Polystyrene documentary, highly recommended. And there's a few others. Michelle and Degiacello.
I remember you mentioning that
with
one as
Dave
well.
Gampson's production. Ultravox, the Stephen Wilson remixes.
Oh, nice.
I had the big box set, but this is like on vinyl for just the Stephen Wilson stuff. Tom Tom Club. Good, the Bad, and the Funky. No, David Bowie, that wasn't Record Store Day. I just kind of picked that up. Look at that. Remember them? Huang Zhong.
Oh, yes. Dance All Days.
Yeah. So, and there's a few all the way downstairs.
Big glasses pop era, weren't they? Almost the Trevor glasses.
Yeah, that's right. Guys. But yeah, I got Jesus Jones as well. That was a blast from the past. Right here, right now. There's a few other bits, but yeah. So, and it all goes off again next month, of course, as you know.
Which is that the same day that I'm going in to try and host again?
Yes, that's why, because I'll be doing it all over again.
Awesome. Well, it's a good job you're here because you're just in time to have a little bit of a quiz.
Ooh.
So,
who's the lovely young lady next? Is that your daughter?
this is my daughter Loullamae, and the
Hello,
high
Loullamae.
point of our show, which you may not have seen, is Loullamae's quiz, which tends to involve telepathy.
Okay.
So the questions can be slightly hard. What colour socks do I have on? Kind of questions. But it is the best quiz on the internet.
Okay.
And there are no there are wrong answers. It's not the case that there are no wrong answers. But basically, the chat can help you out. We had an absolutely epic one last week when Lovely Ty was in the audience, and the question was, what are the names of my two friends that came to visit me? Two cousins this weekend.
Right.
And out of the blue, what did he put? It was Lily and Archie, that's right. And he literally posted, everyone was posting names and stuff. He posted Lily, and I went, oh, that's incredible. No. You've got it with Lily. And then he posted Archie. And it was just like...
No.
Okay. And apparently they're the names of his young cousins or nieces and nephew, basically, that he's got. Yeah, he literally got them bang on. So we were going to have an earlier quiz this evening,
right?
Because everyone loves a quiz much more than me banging on about stuff. So, what are you looking at? You just got one of the chats. Oh yeah, I bet she's wearing gloves on her feet this week. Yes, Wagyu. Right, so I'm going to try and swap places here because Loullmae gets a bad kind of picture on this. So let's see what we can do. So, do you want to come and sit in the? Let's push you in.
I'm under the microphone.
Don't worry.
There you go.
We need a cushion, don't we? Hang on.
Have you had a nice day today, Loullmae?
Yes.
Good. Is it sunny where you are?
Do you want to jump up and we'll try a cushion or two? Yeah. One. I'll try another one just while you're there. Two. Jump on.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
That's perfect. Perfect.
Yes, we have our cushions. Right.
Brilliant.
Whoops. There we go. You're right there. Now, the other thing I have to say, this is Ellie the Elephant, who was one of the quiz questions from a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But the wonderful Suzanne from Australia has sent through this new chap, which arrived today. So Loullamae's first kind of internet present for being the best chat show host in the world has arrived. So thank you, Suzanne. There's a good chance that she'll be on the show next week as well.
Is that Suzanne Aston?
Are you ready?
Go on then.
Okay, stand by. I can't do three things at once here. Hold on a second. Okay, stand by.
You've got stings and everything. Wow.
Yes.
What is the name of my new pet?
Can I ask questions? Have I got to?
No, you can ask questions.
So is this your new pet here? Is this? So it came from Suzanne, and Suzanne's in Australia, so I'm kind of guessing it might be an Australian-themed name. Is it Skippy? I'm going with Skippy.
I named it.
Yeah, there's a clue there.
Oh.
I can squeeze. Well, not really, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
Skippy's a guest. Robbie, but it could be Robbie. We should have thought about that, really.
Bruce.
Bertie, Adam, Tarquin from Wagyu. No idea. Oh, Morgan Juniper got 4 out of 6 of the questions last time as well, which was quite incredible. Ty, no, that would have been a good name actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Billy. No, I'm afraid not.
No.
So the answer is
Whiskers.
Whiskers.
Well, of course, because it's got whiskers. Cool.
Okay.
What's next?
Question number 2.
What kind of animal is she?
Oh, it must be a marsupial of some description, but It's
Great
just
name.
got a little pink nose. Possum.
Yes.
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 Brilliant.
A wombat sounds nice. A cat.
Well, I suppose I can only see the front.
Oh, I'll show you the whole thing. There.
There you go.
Look at that.
It's a perfect possum. Right, let's put these over here. So the trouble is I can't see me anymore.
You're too tall. Okay.
There.
Just I can kneel down. Ugh. Right, off you go. Let me just.
You spelt something wrong here.
Did I? Oh, sorry. All right, question number 3.
Who came over for a sleepover yesterday?
Tough one, to be fair.
But I've mentioned her on the quiz before.
Oh, I see. Now I'm going to get caught out.
The chat
'cause-
might
Yeah,
work.
see, Robbie
Yeah.
committed to coming on without actually realising what he was in for.
Who came over?
Wait till
Lily.
we do the last naked 10 minutes, Robbie. You'll love it.
Someone said Charlie and someone said Lily. No.
Charlie, Lily, Susie.
I'm going to go.
Poppy! Someone got it right!
Inky's got it. Inky, the
Yay.
cat has
Well done,
it.
Inky.
Okay, number 4.
What did we do in the afternoon?
I tell you what, you didn't. You didn't queue up outside the record shop, did you? What did you do in the afternoon? Did you go swimming? No. Oh, well.
To the chat.
Had tea and scone.
It's a good guess.
Quite-
Barbecue's a good guess.
Baked
Baked
bun.
bun.
That's
To be
close.
fair,
Actually,
I think that's a winner, isn't it? Wagyu, you did really, really well. So the paddling... Oh, I thought it said paddling poo there. Paddling Wagyu got it right. Baking buns. It was actually...
baking cupcake.
Yeah, they did a big...
Buns, cakes, yeah.
Cupcake bake.
PlayStation, someone said. Water fight.
Yeah, it should have
Those be good things.
Okay, so let's have a couple more. We've got...
I got a few.
Yeah, all right, let's go for it.
Which film did we watch together?
Cruella.
I have to be fair, I hadn't heard of this one.
Oh. Anyone in the chat room got it yet? No.
No, it's a new one.
That's why I went with Cruella, because I thought new.
Frozen. No, that's yesterday's news.
Mary
Some
Poppins.
Brilliant film.
Howard the Duck.
What's the...
No, Bill and Ted's Excellent. I don't think anyone's going to get this one. What's the name? The Mitchells
versus the
Yes,
Machines.
indeed. The Mitchells versus the Machines, which is a friendly tale of how the internet and social media and looking good on Instagram can really take over your life. And actually, it's real life that counts. So there you go.
To watch that. one.
Okay, we're going to do a couple more and then a little break. So, because that one is important. So, this is a bit of a shocking one. So, off you go. Let's see what's to come.
What spa treatment did I give Daddy this morning?
Did you polish?
Red face.
Did you polish his head?
No.
No. I wouldn't like to think.
Show the video.
Well, there is footage of this, if
Oh.
anyone can guess it. I have to say, I don't think there's any parents probably watching, or not parents, who would allow their daughters to do this.
Oops.
Face scrub? No. I have got footage of it, and it's scary stuff. Oh.
But Whiskers fell
Let me
behind.
find Whiskers. What else happens at a... Well, no, it's not rude.
Spa. Did you?
Shaved head.
Yeah, face mask.
Face.
It was...
Pedicure. Mud pack. No.
Funnily enough, Man Boone is not far... Wagyu's got it. It wasn't a back. It was...
Waxing.
Ooh.
Now, Loullamae decided that to go with this quiz, we needed proof of this.
Oh,
So
it's going
I
to be
need to
painful, isn't it?
So look away if you're of a squeamish disposition. But yes, she waxed my nose and my ears.
Ooh.
And she did my chest as well, but we didn't get it on film because by this stage it was getting a little bit painful.
Ooh.
So, here is the first video. Brace yourself, everybody.
Right, ready?
That's in slow-mo.
Yeah.
That's two. Yeah.
Oh, that's wrong. On so many levels. No.
Do you want to see the ears?
Oh, go on then.
Here we go. Ready?
You ready?
Camera, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2. All that hair.
Oh no!
Oh, don't show what came out. Oh,
What do you reckon? How brave was I?
very. The ears, I don't think I could do, but the
Above
nose
and beyond.
definitely not. Whoa.
Top marks for parenting there.
You have hair on your chest.
I know. I don't think I can show you. I can't really show you the chest because the middle bit got done, and I have to say, if you've witnessed pain on the nose, this is the worst one. But we weren't kind of sure if you were meant to wax the nipples, as in if you go round them, or because I was a bit worried they might come off. So I've got little squares. I've got little hairy square nipples. And then anyway.
Oh,
Hey
no.
Moby, nice to see you. So yes, yeah, and I didn't swear. Sasquatch, thank you for saying that. I didn't swear or say any rude words at all, even though we slowed the thing down. So yeah, there's a thing on Twitch about not being able to show nipples. So I'm not even going to show you the square. It's not that exciting anyway. But yeah, that's what we did this afternoon. So I thought that would go down quite well on a synth show. Right. Sounds like a fun afternoon. Once tried to shave my legs, but didn't get past the first one. That's from Inky. I mean, this is the trouble with my chest at the moment, which is kind of, it's a bit like a kind of zebra crossing, to be fair. Right, let's get back into position. Can we hold the questions back for a bit later on? And we'll get back because Rob is joined and we're going to talk about synths for a little bit. I might fire up my fan. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you,
Loullamae.
Loullmae.
Let's give a big wave and say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Get these out the way. Awesome stuff. So that was the quiz with a bit of waxing.
Nice.
Off you go.
Can I just ask, the background music that's playing there, is that the model but in a dub style?
Yes, I did it. Yes.
Oh, that's you. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
like
did
it.
for a
I'm kind of getting
live,
into that.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm going to have to fire up. See you in a minute. See ya. Yeah. The Orbeez, can you bring one up for me? And I'll tell them exactly about that. Yeah, Loullamae is raising...
That one's made or the ones that haven't?
It's made, I think. Please, that would be great. Yeah. Loullamae is raising money for charity, and again, the wonderful Ty Unwin, as a penance for getting this amazing kind of completely right, donated £100 last week, which was
Bless him.
just absolutely epic. In a second, I'll put the Just Giving address up. But as part of that, she's made Orbeez stress ball kits in tins.
Nice.
Like this, so I'll
Okay.
show you those. And anything that you want to donate to that would be absolutely awesome. It hasn't kind of officially kicked off; it's in a couple of weeks, but we mentioned it last week, and obviously Ty's just and other people have already donated as well, which is absolutely brilliant. What do you want to talk about?
Anything?
Anything
I mean,
good?
it's been a bit quiet on the news front, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There are, I think we're now starting to kind of feel the effects of Chipgate, and the fact that
Yes.
we were speaking with Philip Taysom a few weeks back on the show, and he said he spends pretty much every waking hour trying to source parts. And I think what we're seeing now is that I know that the factories in Malaysia, because didn't they just recently have an outbreak again or another wave, and everything's kind of gone into lockdown.
I think they did.
Limited production here and there, and it's so I don't know whether that's the cause of it or whether it's just a natural lull.
Sorry, I just noticed a comment from Wagyu. They are going to be Nurly type things, actually, which is another thing that I was putting together as prizes for this set. They're not metal, very rack friendly, and I thought, because I've been using them in here, so I thought I'd stick them in tins. Cool. It's difficult to know, isn't it? I know. I mean, we don't know how the retail industry is going at Thomann and all that kind of stuff, but I would imagine it's very, very hard for them to get stuff. I can talk with the fishing industry because I know the bloke who runs the fishing shop quite well now, and he can't get half the stuff, like literally loads and loads of stuff, all the stuff that's manufactured over there. And this is not particularly electronics, although some of it is. The lead time on a lot of it just is non-existent, absolutely non-existent.
And it's not just components as well. It's like shipping capacity. There's just not enough shipping capacity because it all kind of got reduced because they don't want empty ships toing and froing, although they do empty planes apparently. They'll send an empty plane around just because they don't want to lose that slot.
Oh, the slot in the air. That was crazy, wasn't it?
It's bonkers.
Absolutely.
But I ordered or pre-ordered one of those Sonicware Live and XFM units.
All right.
There's FM, surprise. But I saw that, I think it was Chris Lodi did a demo on his YouTube channel, which is really cool little channel. And I just fell in love with what it was going to do, and it was super cheap. I mean, it's like $189 for this little desktop kind of FM cross-modulation groove box thing. Paid an extra little bit for the case to go with it. I think it totaled up about £200, which is just like nothing.
Yeah.
And they promised it June. I was on the second batch. They promised it June. And I found out yesterday that's probably not going to be till July because of these production line,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems reasonably fast, to be honest. I mean,
I ordered it some while ago, but
okay.
It's they're still trying to get the first batch out. So.
Wow. I mean, here we go. So, let me just quickly show you. Pardon? Oh yes, there is a TikTok out there as well, which is, what's the TikTok name?
Elephant Quiz Time.
Elephant Quiz Time is a TikTok channel where you can see these things being made, and these are Orbi stress balls. Wow, it's like ASMR, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Do that with a beat. Hang on a second. Hold on, let me drag a beat. See what we can do. Right, ready? Is that working for you?
Yeah, it's doing it for me.
It's awesome. This is a whole new invention. Orbi stress balls, as well as being excellent percussion instruments, are balloons with Orbis inside. And Orbis are really, really, really tiny little balls of plastic.
This is one with less Orbis in.
They are tiny bits of it, but when you add water, they zoom up. They kind of expand.
The most Orbis.
So you get a little tin like this, and inside the tin, you didn't bring one up, did you? Doesn't matter.
I have before and I've seen it.
Yeah, it's on the last week's one. Inside the tin, you get some Orbis, you get a balloon, and you get some instructions, and you can make your own Orbis for a small donation to Great Ormond Street. So I will put the link up. Yeah, really, really cool. And of course, if you're not into Orbis or percussion instruments, you can just donate anyway. So give me a second, and I'll dig out the link. Thank you very much indeed. Right, we really do need to talk about some synths again now. I'll catch up with you in a minute, okay? All right.
Fan is cool.
I know, I've switched the fan on here because it's so hot.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I've got the windows open.
Shipping containers, KOST Bedford Studios. I've been working on shipping containers for the last week, booked for the rest of the month. Hauliers are still playing catch up. So you've literally been get a shipping container from scratch. That's pretty incredible. Yeah, please. That's really good.
So the company I work for, we make secure identity technologies, so access control, e-passports, and
Right.
all sorts of mobile access stuff. And we have some big plants out in Malaysia that put all of our card readers together and everything. And we had a new product launch like last year, and it's just been so slow because we just can't build these things in the quantities we need them to, and it's getting very frustrating. But fingers crossed it will start.
Well, I hope
leveling
so.
out soon.
It's kind of difficult to know what's really going to be going on, but I can't imagine that the knock-on effect of everything getting delayed for so long isn't going to take a long time to clear. I mean, we live quite close to Gatwick, not close enough to really hear that many planes, but we're quite high up, and you can look across, and through the trees, you used to be able to see them taking off and landing, and there's still nothing from Gatwick. There's literally, like, if you see 1 or 2 planes in a day, you still stop and go, wow, that's noisy, and it's not at all. And pilots, we've got pilots that I know are kind of Ubering, delivering Sainsbury's stuff. I mean, there's just, it's terrible. It's really, really terrible. There's loads of houses on the market around here because Gatwick employed probably 50% of the people in this area. Which is really, really bad. Anyway, right. Let me show you something we talked about last week because you missed out on it, which is... I can show you the looper and I can show you the effects. So these effects were actually pretty cool. I'll just share my screen and pop it up. So there we are. That's just the beat that I put on. Assume you can hear that, right?
Yep.
Cool. There is this guy who made, where are we? Let me see if I can find it. Engelen Audio.
Oh, yes.
And these, I'm not sure where you got it from on the show notes actually, because he seems like a really sweet, clever guy, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was one of Chris's suggestions. This one,
right? He's obviously a reasonably young, kind of 22-year-old Dutch American musician, just out of college, classically trained pianist, and he's offering kind of mix and mastering services and stuff. But he's also put together these plugins, of which there was Kaput, which is like a this is the one I was interested in. It's like a tape emulation kind of thing, and Chorus, which is a chorus, which was quite nice. We thought it was a little bit sharp sounding, and Sahara, which is an amp simulation, which I haven't really used that much, but Chris was saying it works really well. But Kaput's kind of interesting because it's almost sort of Incinerator-esque. It's got really a few controls, and it sounds pretty neat. So what I tried to do was run a kind of a live sort of comparison of this thing, but it didn't get it working, so I will just bung it on this drum thing that I loaded, which is called Kaput, and I will switch it off. So here's the beat, and if I put Kaput on there, you immediately get this kind of degraded hiss version. And if we get some music going on, you'll hear it wobble a bit more. But there's 3 levels of distortion, so there's low, mid, and high, and there's a bass boost. And then you can literally switch out wobble, noise, and crosstalk. Let me get something which has some music in it. I'll just play some Rhodes in or something. Hang on. Believe me, I am playing something here. Hold on a sec. It's muted, but I maybe even be able to switch cameras for you. Okay, we'll quantize that. There you go.
Yeah.
Kind of gets really nice and wobbly.
It's just that right amount of imperfection in there to make it interesting, isn't it?
And you really can't. There's no presets. There's not much going on. The oversampling is an internal kind of quality thing, and you can't really hear much difference. But there is a really nice vibe to it. And the main thing about these things is that you can download them as part of his Patreon. You can actually download them without being part of his Patreon as well, but I do suggest you bung him $5 or something.
I do like these new kind of ingenious business models where people are creating stuff and it's either very low price or free, but you can still contribute to their development and give them a beer or a bit of lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's...
I mean, the Air Windows stuff. That's all now open source.
Yeah.
Or Patreon based, effectively. And I used Air Windows reverb algorithms.
That's right. Yeah.
In Incinerator, and it's perfectly. I mean, he endorsed it. He was really, really pleased. So there's a guy called Chris at Air Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google Air Windows, and he'd been making plugins for years. And they are, really sweet plugins. But he publishes the code as open source. You can download all of them if you want, and he only asks in exchanges that you go and bung him Patreon. For per month. And he's got to a level now, I think, where it's sustainable. It took him a while to build it up. I think quite a few. It is weird. People value things if you charge a lot for them. Sometimes it's it's a kind of human nature thing. Well, it can't be that good because it's cheap, let alone if it's free. I will load up this chorus version as well because it is quite sweet as well. So just solo those roads. That's probably really quiet, isn't it? Hang on.
There you go. Yeah.
That's got both on. So the chorus does have some presets which are actually really nice, because initially playing around with it I was like thinking, this is a bit weird. You've got crazy stuff, but that's your kind of classic. Probably need headphones on for this one. And then if you just add a bit of reverb and chorus, the whole thing kind of just comes into its own. This is the stock Logic Rhodes kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So put them both on. Wow, listen to that take this. So yeah, highly recommend it.
Very nice.
Go and check him out.
There's a few of these kind of cassette modelling effects coming out now. There was another one we looked at on the show. Was it? I can't remember if it was Clevgrand or not. There's two or three that are out there that do this kind of tape thing, and but like a few years ago, Reason put out something. What was it called? The Audiomatic Retro something or other, which you had like about 12 or 16 different options. Like you had tape, VHS, radio, and all these different, just basically old things that you could play things through, and it was just really quick, and it just gives you that nice little coloration very quickly. Yeah,
it's funny. The fact that we hated tape and we bought aural exciters to make them bright, and for a long period of time you used to master onto cassette. And then DAT came along, and actually I think I'd prefer listening to a cassette than a DAT these days if I could find a DAT that worked. Really crazy. The other thing I was going to show was I was chatting about this one on Sonic State a while ago. Hopefully I can make this do this demo reasonably easily. Let's just take these off for a second. It's this thing called Crossfade Loop Synth, and it's by Expert Sleepers.
Okay.
And Expert Sleepers are pretty much let's just share this screen again. Kind of, you might not even realize they made plugins. Expert Sleepers make these amazing modular kit, and I mean it really is good. Particularly I have an ES8 which is almost somewhere here. The ES8 base, it's one of, it looks a bit like that anyway. Here it is. And what it is an audio interface from modular into a computer. So you plug the USB into your computer, and it gives you 4 ins and 8 outs. I think it's that way around.
Okay.
And it handles all the difference in voltage, because on a modular synth the voltages are much higher, so you can't take a jack out of a modular and stick it into the input of your mic in general. If you do, it'll sound really, really loud. You can probably get away with it. But it handles all of those. And they also work not just for audio. You can send CV and gate signals down it. And on the other end, they have a plugin that sits there. So you can literally send a clock pulse. So CV is a control voltage, which basically is the same as setting a MIDI note, and a gate is simply a pulse, which is like a note on and a note off. So you can send these out of your modular, because that's what they understand, or out of your computer rather, and then play with your modular. And where it really comes into its own is if you are playing with one of the virtual, is it VCV rack, isn't it?
Yes.
virtual modular thing that you can use in Ableton or Logic or whatever, you can have a hybrid version. So you could use the virtual VCV rack stuff for digital stuff. That probably doesn't make that much difference. So at one end of the scale, probably not morphogene, because it does, having knobs on a morphogene, which is like a sample mangler, is a useful thing to have.
Right.
But some of the more digital kind of processing modules you can just run on a computer, and they sound pretty much exactly the same. And then you get your analog filtering and oscillators off board, you know, and it just seamlessly works together, which is really cool. Anyway, that aside, they I think they started life making these plugins, and so there's this thing called a Crossfade Loop Synth demo, and I was talking about Beardy Man and Jamie who I was on there. So he was saying that he couldn't find something that was a live looper anymore, that you could literally just kind of bang into it, and then you didn't have to press stop and you didn't have to touch it. It would just kick off the looping, and then you could kind of change it on the fly. And Beardy Man was saying, because he's a big beatboxy kind of guy, that this thing does it. And it's really old, but so I set it up, and it looks like this. So it's obviously is very old. Now let's see, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Now let's see, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Now let's see, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Now let's see, 1 2 3 1 2 3. So that kind of works. I'm going to switch this fan off. Actually. My fan is controlled by Alexa.
We are all controlled by Alexa.
Very disconcerting. I'm going to turn it down. Very disconcerting. It's working as a delay, so hopefully you can see that as I speak into it, you get the waveform, and it's literally going from left to right. So as I speak into it, you'll get the delay. And then it'll disappear. I've got the speakers up in the room, which is not helping. If you turn the feedback up, though, then it's pretty much like a looper. So if you turn the feedback up to max, it'll never go over the edge, and like you can kick a delay into kind of critical overload, but it will literally turn into a loop. So you can go 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then it gets really low. Is everyone still there?
It's quite fun, that, isn't it?
I think actually StreamYard, which is what we used to do these streaming, is really good at knocking levels down. Actually,
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. But yeah. And then I don't know. Let me see without making a complete tit of myself. Let's do that again with a much lower level and see what happens. 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2. So you can kind of do that kind of stuff, which is really neat. And then it's got filtering and LFO and all that kind of madness. The only thing that I found, which is what just happened there, is as soon as you flip it or press stop or start, it wipes the sample. So I'm just going to try and do that one more time and see if I can play it back. So you can see people like Beardy Man are all over this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. If I can play it back. I've got to lose my initial one. Hang on a second. If I can play it There you go. Now I can just play it from the keyboard, which is completely beside me.
I was going to say, Ken, if you like that and you want to take it out and stick it in something else, I could have just seen there's a save sample button.
There's a save the sample button just here, which again I tried just before we went live. This is a very seat of your pants kind of demo, as you can probably see. But it does have filters and envelopes. So let's just bring that in. That's the amplitude envelope, so you can fade it in. Or some really crazy modulation type effects. So let me just do this. Yeah, you can see what's going on. I can turn the cutoff frequency down. There's a low pass and a high pass. So strange. There you go. Kind of hit it pretty hard, but and then you can do this granular stuff where hard sync will literally turn it into a tiny repeating one.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've actually, to be honest, I've missed one of the best things about it. The crossfade bit will basically crossfade over the gaps. I mean, clearly I sang it so brilliantly that there isn't really that much of a gap, but so it's now kind of looping backwards and forwards on itself and crossfading. So yeah, if you play with the D tune and the start point, loads of fun. Anyway, I just thought it was it's worthwhile flagging because it's not outrageously expensive. It's not doorless, but if you want to play around with a looper, that really lets you go to town on stuff. It's the nuts. It really is.
Yeah.
And yes, you can save them. And it comes in two versions. One's an audio plugin that literally acts as a looper or a delay. Mm-hmm. And obviously the delay has mad modulation. The other one is a MIDI controlled effect, which is what I've been doing. So you basically play it with a keyboard and you feed into the sidechain the mic signal. So that's what I've been doing. Here.
That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But what it reminds me, dare I say, like cranky old man, get off my lawn. But messing around with that, this is what we used to do with samplers.
Yes, exactly.
Early in the early days, we would just like record just anything, any bollocks in there, and it would, and then we'd loop it and just send it backwards and forwards and process it. And I was doing this on my VSS 200, in
absolutely
'87 or something.
Yeah.
But it's great fun, and it's something we've forgotten to do, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do it, I think, on Logic's it's called sampler now instead of VSX. You can do it with Ableton, but it's the way that you can do it without stopping. I think.
The immediacy.
I just did some random delayed LFOs on it.
Because Wagyu just said, does it do granular on the waveform?
Sort of. Wow, I like that. Its granular setting is this hard sync device, which basically only plays the first few samples of the start point, and then you can move that start point through. So not in the traditional Bloom kind of lovely stuff. But if you set it to play a granular bit of the sample, which is really what that hard sync does, and then adjust the other knobs, then it does. Because
that's what I was thinking. I would, if I created something like that, like a vocal harmony layer or something, and then took it out of that using the save sample and throw it into something like I use Falcon for granular synthesis.
Oh yeah.
And then really stretch it out and just get those little things and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be quite fun.
Yeah, totally. No, they're really a really funky thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing, which we didn't get to talk about actually on your show, was the new version of OSC that's come out, Touch OSC, and it's it's almost quite annoying. The trouble with this looper is that it's got all these controls on and they're really tiny, and also you kind of want switches that push them all into one position. So you need a switch that says turn the input level up, turn sample on, turn feedback down, turn off everything, and then as soon as I've recorded my sample, I let it go, put it back to what it was, and you've suddenly got a really clever thing. It supports OSC. OSC is MIDI over USB and MIDI over network, so it's a slightly more enhanced spec of MIDI that not everything supports, but it allows you, for example, so you don't have to choose a channel. You can say there is an OSC port on here, this knob here. So I could say, I don't care about MIDI, I want to talk to this instance of the looper. It doesn't matter where you've put it. So you can literally sort of page through it on an iPad. And Touch OSC was the first OSC-based configurable iPad app, really. So you could say, well, I want what I've just described. I want a button there, and I want it to fire off all these commands when I press it, and then I want it to undo what it's done when I take it off. But it was limiting in that you could only take it so far. And now their new version, which has just come out, I've just spent the last 3 weeks trying to program a new version of OSC to make this looper actually do what I want. And I thought, well, if I can make it do what I want, maybe I can, because it doesn't look like OSC is being updated that much. But they've done it. And it does all of this. It's done scripting and all sorts of crazy stuff. So an iPad front-ending something like this gives you immense looper control, really.
I remember when I got my first iPad, which was the very first iPad, because we were developing the Fairlight app, and I had to have this thing. And at the time there was, I think, what was the name of that? Was it Loullmae?
Loullmae, yeah.
Was it Loullmae? Yeah.
There was one called Loullmae.
And I thought, wow, this is the future. The iPad is now a detachable remote control surface for, something on my computer, and obviously that iPad very soon became obsolete in the typical Apple style, and I just kind of lost interest in it. But I think if I had a modern iPad now, that would be probably the first thing I would use on it, was something like Touch OSC to control stuff. I mean, particularly when we're doing live streams and things, that kind of control would be fantastic, to have it just one button does all these different things, and just have it do exactly what I want it to do.
It is killer, and it's just like a networking. You can literally target a thing, so which is the beautiful thing. You don't have to worry what channel you're on, as in audio channel or MIDI channel, and whether it's listening in the right way or whatever. You can literally say, I know I'm connected to you somehow through this mass of wires, and you're listening for me. Right, here you go. I want you to open your filter, or I want you to do all this stuff. And you can also do things like send me your current system settings, so I can adjust all my knobs to look exactly in the right way. It's really neat. I got totally geeked out when I was looking into it. But I'm so pleased that they've updated it now to bring it to Monday, because it's a big old piece of work. It's just like anything. When you look into it, you think, I could probably do something like this, and then you realise the amount of work that's gone into it. Indeed. It's stunning. I think we're just about there, actually, which is pretty incredible. I've got a Just Giving link, which I will post in the chat now. Thank you for reminding me. Sensient, I know OSC has nothing to do with MIDI, but it's kind of like the way the looper's in there. You send CC messages via OSC. Yeah, sorry for the confusion. It's kind of carrying the MIDI messages, so you can duplicate it that way. But no, you're right. It's not a MIDI standard. And I think, to be honest, everyone has just implemented it in such a different way. But it's cool, though. Really cool. Here is the Just Giving link, which I'll also post under the video when it's finished. If you would like one of Loullamae's Orbi stress ball kits, just donate something to there and pop me a message at mrwiggly.co.uk or on Facebook or whatever. Most people can get in touch with me, and I'll send you one out, because at the moment they're not connected. Great Ormond Street Hospital receive the donations, and just let us know and we'll send you out a stress ball, or whatever you want. Maybe Robbie was saying something about coming and doing a concert in your lounge, I think, earlier, weren't you? Wasn't that?
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not. Anyone still watching, and there's lots of you, which is absolutely brilliant. If you could click like, it's really easy to forget, because the chat appears above the like and stuff. So you end up with 50 or 100 people having watched over the course of the episode, but no likes, because everyone's missed the button. So please go and do that. And what else is there? I think that's it. What have you got coming up on Friday, Rob?
We've got I think we've got Roger Lyons this Friday. Is that this Friday? Let me just double check. Yes, we got Roger Lyons. So Roger's like mostly known for being keyboard tech for The Great and the Good, New Order, Kaiser Chiefs, Alt J, and numerous others, but also has a sort of long history in the business. Ben kind of knows him from Strawberry Studios. So that's going to be a really interesting chat, and sort of maybe find out some of the secrets behind Stephen and Gillian's rigs on New Order. And
oh wow,
that'd
yes,
be cool.
That's what. Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
So and I think in terms of news topics, obviously we're still kind of watching what's coming through, but we'll probably talk about Touch OSC because you didn't go over it on this week, so that'll be something. And hopefully, I will have my IK Multimedia Uno Synth Pro.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully, I think it's being shipped next week. I don't know whether it'll arrive next week, but I was promised this like last year, and then of course COVID, and so they're sort of slowly getting around to getting them out. And I was scheduled to do a demo for Andertons, I think it was, like one of these kind of online things, and then of course everything went up in the air. So finally getting hold of this. I mean, some of the demos I've heard sound amazing. So big fan of the original, which you can just see just over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Loved it. Such a cool little thing for not a lot of money. And this one seems to have just gone even that one step further. And I'm desperate to kind of learn about paraphonic. And I should be asking Mark if it's truly paraphonic.
Yes,
in his eyes.
Yes. That's where you split the oscillators into voices rather than the voices into voices, right?
Indeed, yeah.
And then you kind of wonder which oscillators actually play.
I never commit to understanding exactly what paraphony is because I don't want to upset Mark. Basically,
yes, fair enough.
When he gets upset, it's not nice.
Okay, cool. Well, look, thanks ever so much for joining us. It's really made my evening. Actually, I was just going to drone on a little bit about stuff, so it was really nice to have you. And seriously, anyone in the chat that wants to come on, like I say, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, or you want to play your tune, or tell me about how you made it, or plugins you might have had, or whatever.
Yes, Wagyu.
Very nice. And
we're looking at you.
Wagyu made some excuse earlier about not having finished the studio or something, but that doesn't do it. Oh yes, Loullamae is a very, very strange spelling, isn't it? She's very unique. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. Well done, Rob, in the quiz, and thanks very much for helping me out. And thank you everyone for watching. And hopefully we'll see you all around next week, this same place, same time. All right. Take care, everyone. And sorry about the waxing.
Urbanist connect so with the herb mic, link up the harmonized left the termite, but beyond obsolete blessings a birthright. We live a life which a lot like warming us out worldwide. Cosmic love energy I go herbicide free organically. Me say worthwhile. Watch the way one of you take termites in terms of definitions and some termites. Yes, I check the eye. One side is defined by one side the other. I.e. I am an ideas man. I assign too much of the